This is an introduction to anatomy and physiology. As we look at those two words, anatomy is the study of structure, the stuff, the things we can give names to, that we can touch and feel, the muscles, the bones, the tendons. And physiology is how that stuff works with one another. The way it moves. Why does it move? How does it move? Structure is known to dictate function. Structure of the way a heart is shaped will dictate how that pump, which is the heart is a pump, how that pump pumps blood around in the body. Does it pump blood efficiently? Does it pump blood in the right direction? All that is dictated by how it's created, how it's made. This is a universal concept. It's just not necessarily so easy to understand. When we look at the body, we look at the structural organization from small to large. The smallest level is a chemical level. Those are atoms and molecules that make us up. We cannot really see them, but we have them as a basis of understanding how things work. The next level is a cellular level. That's when these chemicals come together and make a cell. And a cell is sort of the main pieces of life. That is when life starts. The smallest unit of life is a one cellular organism. Then we take these cells together and we'll make different formats and create things around, and we'll make fabrics that then can make organs. Oh, we stop at those fabrics. We call them tissues. We have 4 different types of tissues, and the tissues then put together can make up organs. So here you have, for example, a blood vessel. On the inside you see a epithelial tissue. That's the lowest. That's the inside layer there, very delicate, where the blood just runs by. Epithelial is one of the 4 tissue types. And then you've got a layer of smooth muscle. The muscle can contract, and they can make that inside smaller or larger, so we can have more blood or less blood go through it. So that's why that is there. And then the outer layer is called the connective tissue layer, and that anchors that whole thing into the body. So that's an organ, a blood vessel. An organ is also the heart. An organ is a muscle. When we put organs together that create one thing that they work on, we call that an organ system. And we have that as a level, and we have multiple of those, and we'll go through those in a moment. But when we put all those then together, we get the organismal level, and that's us. Organ systems. Integumentary system is the skin and associated structures. The largest organ in our body. This one creates our external body covering and protects us or the deeper tissues from injury. That means you can't just poke you and I can't just poke and go right to the muscle. I gotta get through the skin first. That's protection. The skin also synthesizes vitamin D, the one that a lot of us are deficient on these days. We can talk about that some more. The skin has cutaneous receptors in them. That cutaneous refers to skin. And receptors are things that pick up information like a touch, like a pain, like a temperature, like some light, all kind of stuff that is presented on the outside of the body or the inside, but here on the outside is the skin, and then transforms a type of energy like heat into an electrical impulse that our brain can understand. Also, we have oil glands and sweat glands in the skin. The skeletal system is the bones. The bones are my friend. They're awesome. I love bones. They protect us. Like the skull protects the brain. That's good protection. The ribs protect the lungs. That's good protection. They support our body organs. They make us be able to get upright. If we don't have a femur, a thigh bone, well, guess what? We're not going to walk on that thing. And so to that, then also the bones create a framework for muscles to attach that then cause movement. Did you know that all the blood cells are made in bone? The red bone marrow creates red blood cells, white blood cells, as well as the platelets. So that's a good piece of information to know. Then bone also a lot of it is made of calcium. That's the hard stuff in bone is calcium. And calcium is used in the body for many, many functions, such as muscle contractions. Quite important. That calcium is stored in the bone. So we always have a reservoir that we can pull from, and that's very nice. Now we have to be careful to build up the reservoir properly when we're young, so when we're old, there's enough calcium there to pull from. And we don't get brittle bones, which is osteoporosis. The muscular system helps us manipulate the environment. It helps me move around. I love that. That's called locomotion, moving around. I can grab a pen. That's because of muscles. I can make some faces at you because my muscles in the face work. Another piece these muscles do, these different types of muscles, but they're in the same system. The postural muscles don't move our body, but they make sure we stand upright. And posture is very important. It can make us sick or make us healthy, depending on how we stand or sit, how straight we are. Then muscle does a lot of heat production. We can see that in shivering, and then in times we don't like it, like today when it's hot already. The nervous system is a very fast-acting control system that controls all the body functions that we have. Everything is controlled and influenced by the nerves. It detects internal and external changes in the environment, and then it integrates whatever it detects, and then it influences muscles and glands to create a change. When you drive on a freeway and some stupid one is in front of you doing nothing but texting, and you swerve and you have to swerve out of the way, that is your nerves acting. Thank you, nerves. Because we have another system that's called the endocrine system, and that also influences body function, but that does it on a slower level. This system uses hormones, which are chemicals that travel through the blood supply, not through nerve stuff. And so that's a little slower. That's like in a river. But what that does, it lasts longer, so it makes us do functions that are needing to be sustained or regulated, like growth or reproduction or how we use nutrients in our cells. We'll talk about that too, of course. The cardiovascular system, we briefly discussed it. The heart pumps the blood through the body along blood vessels, and the blood carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells and takes away carbon dioxide and waste and lets it get eliminated by the body. The heart is the pump of the body. The lymphatic system picks up stuff that the blood supply sort of leaks out along the way, which is kind of nice because it cleans the stuff and then it cleans what it's called lymph at that point, and it returns it back to the blood supply. It can, in that process, dispose of debris and also take care of a lot of immune function and clean the lymph. So a lot of immune cells sit in the lymphatic system. The respiratory system are our lungs and the accessory structures. So they make sure our blood is constantly supplied with oxygen and we get rid of carbon dioxide as well as other gases, waste. And we do that in the little small tiny air socket in the lung, and they are called alveoli. The digestive system, well, we eat stuff and it breaks down food and absorbs whatever we can take in and gets rid of what we do not use, what we cannot use. And then once it's in the digestive tract, it goes into the blood supply and then into the body cells. The urinary system helps us get rid of nitrogenous waste, and a lot of protein carries that. But what it also really does, it regulates water and electrolyte balance as well as pH of the blood. It cleans the blood that way. It's our peeing system. And lastly, the reproductive system, which helps us reproduce so we can have offsprings. The testes make sperm and sex hormones of the male, and the ovaries make the sex hormones and the eggs, the ovum, in the female. We'll talk more about that, but my time here is up, so I hope this is doing well. and you're having a good time learning.